Alright, so I started streaming playing Little Big Planet. I played Little Big Planet for a few years, actually, and it was my favorite game for quite a while. This is what Little Big Planet looks like. I'm just going to show you guys this cutscene. It's a platformer. You know, you can see it. It's kind of like a little whimsical platformer. It's like Mario Maker, but a little bit more advanced. Very cool. So yeah, if you can see kind of the gameplay. This is what the general gameplay usually looks like. It's a cute platformer, right? You know, you can build stuff. The thing is, this game has a very, very in-depth creation system. Mysticat, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome everybody from Mysticat stream. I'm showing off my origin story of streaming. And so, like, it has very, very, like, these are all of the different materials you can use. A lot of the tabs are closed. There's, like, different materials you can build stuff with. You can make some incredible looking things, but there's also, like, a bunch of really cool, like, sensors, power-ups. That's music. There's also, like, gameplay. Like, you can, like, attach stuff to rotate things, and pistons, and springs, and winches, and Boolean logic gates. If you know what that is, there's, like, a bunch of other stuff, because the Boolean logic gates also are able to run digital signals through them. And there's, like, moving things. It's very, very, like, there's a lot of stuff. And there's, like, there's a lot of things. And so, when I had an idea. I'll tell you how I started this. In Little Big Planet 2, the game before this. I was in high school. And, what happened was I had a BlackBerry Curve. An awful phone, in hindsight, for a high schooler. But I had a BlackBerry Curve, and you know what came out? A certain game came out that I couldn't get on my phone, that everyone was playing. And I was like, I want that game. I want that game, but I can't get it on my phone. There's no way I can get it. So, I go home, and I just said, screw it. I'll just make the game. So, in an evening, I went, and I made this. I made this in Little Big Planet 2. So in Little Big Planet 3, it's a bit glitchy. But this is what I made in high school. Yeah, I'm not very good at it, just to be clear. Ah, damn it, I suck. It is Flappy Bird. Yeah, there's a layer, it doesn't work properly in this version. But yeah, I made Flappy Bird. I'm washed. My record's like in the hundreds, okay? Don't at me. But I'm washed now. But anyways, so, yeah, I went home and I made that, and in Little Big Planet 2, the tools weren't as good, so I had to do it in a little bit more complicated way. But let me just show you what it looks like. So, should work. Basically, there's like a bunch of different layers. You can kind of see how it works. Like, there's the main menu is always there. It kind of goes invisible. Those little black circles on the right there, those like spawn the different heights of pipes and stuff. And then this is the more technical aspect where it does the score. It calculates the scoreboard and stuff. Like, this is the first digit of the... I think it calculates the best score or something. I can't remember exactly how it works, but it basically just compares all the digits together on a display. Like here, you can see like it's currently set to 0 and it goes to 9, but yeah, it basically it's basically an analog scoreboard, and each digit compares to every other digit to calculate the best score. It's essentially like an analog scoreboard that works through Boolean logic gates. And this, I did it this way because in Little Big Planet 2, it didn't have a feature in this game yet, or at least I wasn't aware of the feature. I'll show, I want you guys to remember how big this is, okay? Every single one of these has a little testing cell. I think I called them testing cell, yeah. Basically, it compares a digit with the previous digit to make sure it's bigger. I made this in high school? Yeah, I made this in high school. I was in grade 8 or grade 9 or something when Flappy Bird popped off. Should have commented your code. I made it in an afternoon. Yeah, I mean, I did. It is. I understood what this meant. A selector comparator, I knew what that meant when I made it. I never thought I was going to have to explain it to anybody, but yeah. And I mean, like, every one of these has, like, a bunch of different stuff. This is the scoreboard, I think. This is just the display for the scoreboard, so it's really simple. There's just a lot of wires because there's a thing for every digit. In an afternoon, yeah. Yeah, this is the retry screen. It just, like, it displays your current score. I don't know, that's when you end the level. There's some other things, but I don't want to explain it. I don't want to get into it. It's very simple. It's a bunch of small parts just put together. It's a bunch of small parts just put together, basically. And I didn't do this on stream, though. I did this in high school. But ever since I made this, I was like, you know what I want to do? One day, I had this idea in my head. I bet I could make a full Legend of Zelda-style game in Little Big Planet, and you couldn't tell it's Little Big Planet. So, the first thing I did on stream was a little thing called Pixel Wizard. And the way this works is I had to place each pixel. You'll see when I go into the overworld really quick. I might just be able to hit play. It might not work, but we'll see. Basically, every single pixel you see, I placed by hand individually. Eventually, I could copy and paste. I also made the music, but you may recognize it from... if someone recognizes the song, it's based on a song. But yeah. I'm kind of in the middle of the game, so it brought me to a save state where I last saved. But yeah, it has, like, spells and, like, a little mana bar. And so, like, I have, like, a shield and stuff and, like, a melee attack. I had 3 people watching me make this. Yeah, every pixel. Yeah, so you see every pixel. I had to place it manually. The overworld, I ended up finding a trick so I could copy and paste stuff. So, like, you know, I had to make every frame of animation pixel by pixel. And there's some copy and pasting, but yeah, it was kind of ridiculous. But I'll show you one other thing now. I'll show you this, and I'll show you the final boss. There's 3 dungeons. There's 3 other levels. There's, like, 3 levels, 3 dungeons, and then, like, a bonus other thing. And then I'll show you guys how it works. This is Little Big Planet? Yes, I made this in Little Big Planet. How long did it take? So, this took 3 months on stream. The reason why this took 3 months on stream is because about a month in, after I'd finished all the pixel art and started working on the programming part, like the game engine part, my game corrupted and the backup didn't work. I backed it up in 2 different ways and neither of them worked. So I had to completely restart all the pixel art. It was the worst part. But I was like, no, I'm committed. People are watching me. They want to see this through, and so I did it. But I'm just going to show you guys the final boss, because I feel like it is the, I feel like the final boss is the coolest part of this. I was crushed. Absolutely. The final boss is probably the coolest part of this whole thing. And I'll explain why in a little bit. But yeah, the 3 people. How did I make this in Little Big Planet? I'll show you. I have everything. Twitch Rivals is over. Yeah, they kind of canceled it, but we went through it anyways for fun. But this is what the final boss looks like. I made this music from scratch. You know, I think this boss has like 7 different attack patterns, so I'll just let the attack patterns go through, because some of them are really cool. Specifically, the second attack pattern I like. But yeah, you have to like hit each colored ball with the thing. And you can definitely see I took a lot of inspiration from, Minish Cap. There's a lot of Minish Cap sprites in here that I kind of just like reused because I was like, I don't know how to do art, so I'm just gonna copy them and hopefully no one notices. But yeah, like the music. This is my favorite thing that I did in the whole game because it's actually a lot harder than it looks. You can like shield the laser attack. The thing is, you can't resize things in Little Big Planet dynamically, so the fact that that laser changes length is actually really impressive. There's like small things like that. Also, it's Little Big Planet. But yeah, I'm kind of awful at this boss fight. It's actually genuinely hard because your player moves so slowly. And you have to like... There we go. Read like a freaking book, idiot. Boom, another one. Sick. What is this attack? I don't know what this attack is. It's the hands. Okay. Boom. Boom. Nice. We got 2 hits on the red. Have you made your own game? Yeah, this is what I made. I made this. It's basically a full game in Little Big Planet. Takes 2-3 hours to beat. Nailed it. Let's go. But yeah, I just kind of want to show you guys all of the fight. Nice. Easy. Oh. Oh. Damn, I'm good. Dodging all the attacks. I'm schmoovin'. Where can you play it? It's on Little Big Planet 3. If you have Little Big Planet 3. What is this attack? Oh yeah, this is the black lasers attack. Okay. You should speedrun your own game. This is not fun to speedrun. The character walks so slow. Like, it's good for Little Big Planet, but as a standalone game, it's not good. It's just an impressive technical showcase in Little Big Planet. Ow, that deals damage. Yo, I got one of the orbs. Oh, I think that skips one of the attack patterns now. Because one of the attack patterns is, like, each orb has its own specific attack pattern. Yeah. So it just jumped. There was supposed to be the purple orb that was attacking next, but he doesn't have that, so we skip that attack. But yeah. Ouch. Boom. Okay, I bet I can do this. I missed. Yo, okay. Anyways, you guys can kind of tell. And I'll show you guys how it works. How do you get in Little Big Planet 3? You just search up Pixel Wizard online in Little Big Planet 3. I've only played the first Little Big Planet. I had no idea even this was possible. Yeah, that was the goal. I wanted to make things that people didn't know could be done in Little Big Planet. And so it's very cool. But let me, it takes a while to load the game, but I'm gonna go into the overworld and show you guys how things work really quick. I didn't do this level in high school. This one I started on stream and I wasn't in that. Didn't you get some creator rewards? Yeah, there's a thing called team picks. And I got 4 of those. I got 4 team picks. Every level that I made on stream got team picked, where basically the developers of the game pick like the one level each week to like showcase to the world, and every level we made on stream got team picked. But anyways, this is what it kind of looks like in creative mode. I forgot to show you. There's like a tips thing where a guy can pop up and show tips, but yeah. The overworld is pretty big. You can see every little dot like this is like its own enemy, and every enemy has its own like simple AI in it, where there's like some little basic components that, like the slimes, they literally have 2 animations. So like if I press play, this will like switch in between the 2 frames, and there's just like a timer here that just switches in between the 2 frames, and it changes its animation speed based on how fast it's moving. But yeah, it's just like, you know, there's overworld, there's random enemies, there's different little areas, there's like a little hills area up here with like beetles and some enemies that throw rocks. They're not loading in though, because I'm not over there. But yeah, I'll show you how it works really quick. I'll give you guys a brief overview of what I did. So I'll start with the animation. Basically, there is 3 frames for each direction. It's a 2-frame walking cycle in each direction. So, you know, up, down, left, right. So there's 8 frames there. And then there's an attack animation for each direction. So there's, I think, 12 total animations for animating. And so I think this is the animator. Yeah, this is the animation. So it's actually relatively simple. How many slots does this have? 20? Apparently there's 20 frames of animation. I'm not, maybe there's 2 frames of animation for attacking. I can't remember. But anyways, the way it works is like this little component makes sure that only one thing can turn on at a time. So like all of the objects or all of the frames are always present. They're just invisible. And you can kind of see how it's like flickering like that. It's because it's like in create mode, you can see them at all times. But in preview mode, only one is visible at a time. So that's what the animation, that's what this little component here does. It makes sure only one is on at a time. This one is the attack animations. Yeah, it looks like there's 2 frames for attacking. So there's the, you know, attack up animations, attack down, attack left, attack right, whatever. And then there's the walking animation as well. So this is movement, and basically it just checks which direction you're pressing. It gives priority to certain directions in case you press like up and left at the same time. It only turns on one of those, but the movement still works. That's what this thing does. It just makes sure you can only press one at a time. One direction at a time in the animation so they don't overlap. But yeah, there's some other things where it's like, yeah, these are, I'm not sure what that's connected to. I think that's probably connected to the spells, because it's connected to the spell system. But yeah, so the animation is relatively simple. It just, you know, checks which direction you're pressing. And, you know, if you're pressing an attack button, it'll do the attack animation. If you're not, it'll just play the walk animation. And then with this one here, This one is the spell stuff. This one, I believe, let me just double check. This plays the sounds for each spell. And there's just in-game sounds. Yeah, and this basically... Buttons, what the hell is that? Oh, this makes sure that you can't, I think you can't spam the buttons too fast to break it. So there's like a cooldown every time you use a spell. And it makes sure that you're only pressing one button at a time, I think. I think that's what that does. And yeah, basically it just makes sure that it forces the game to recognize only one spell input at a time. And then there's like these things basically after the checks go through to confirm that the spell is able to work, it'll emit the proper directions. So that's like an up water spell that spawns in the player. That's a down water spell that spawns in the player. And there's a bunch of random other stuff. Yeah, so, you know, that's, I think, the actual math where it, like, calculates how much mana you have and does the display is in here, I believe. Yeah, the spell mana display. This basically, like, does all the calculations. It, like, it compares... This is the little component that actually stores, how much, mana you have. And then, like, it subtracts the correct amount of mana from each time you use a spell. So, like, it'll subtract 20% of the mana for whatever spell that is. I'm not sure which that's connected to, but one of the spells takes 20 mana, and whenever it's activated, it subtracts 20. And then it'll always gradually go up. And then, yeah, this is actually, like, a more visual display. This bar is... It stays at the position of, like, how much percentage of mana you have. So right now it's at 100%, so this blue bar is at the very end. If it was at, like, you know, 10%, it would only be overlapping some of these batteries, which would only turn some of the batteries on, and so some of the things would be... some of the things would be grayed out because you don't have enough mana to use them. Just gotta hear what's happening. I'm just showing off what I built when I started playing Little Big Planet. Some of the things, like, this just tracks game progress. It just, like, shoots out a signal whenever you beat something. The one thing about Little Big Planet is whenever you load a level, it's always loading it exactly the same as before. Except for one component. There's one component in the entire game that can be different. If you reload a level, and there's a component called a memorizer that memorizes the data. The thing is, we realized that these binary inputs weren't enough, and so for the data, and so what we had to do was each of these actually, they can act as a binary on-off, or they can act as it can act as a percentage from like 0 to 100. You can actually go to 500% with a glitch, but I believe I only used 0 to 100. So basically, you would like encode data into like one signal here. So like there's one signal is worth 15%, another signal is worth 30%, another one's worth 60% or 45, I guess. I'm not sure. I can't remember how it works. But basically, the way it works, I can't remember exactly how it works, but the way it works is it like encodes data into one signal, and then we have like a little decoder on the outside, so we get like multiple bits of data through one memorizer output, which was a really cool idea. But yeah, basically, the memorizer, like when you load into a level, it loads, and it's like, basically what the game does is, you notice when I started the level, it was black for a few seconds. What happens is it's black because the player always starts here, and the game is like, okay, wait, where was the last level? It checks where the last level you were, and in the save file that I was in the final boss most recently, so it moved the player right in front of the final boss entrance, and then once the player is there, the game is like, okay, give them the control, fade the screen so you can see it. And so it's kind of funny that the level always loads exactly the same, but we had to make it so, like, loading zones seem to work properly, because that's the only way to do it. It was kind of funny. But yeah, there's some other small things. Like, movement is actually really simple. I don't know what that is. This is the health bar display. It basically just, like, checks if you get hit with a 5% damage hit, a 10% damage hit, or a 25% damage hit, and it kind of just subtracts the amount of health if you get hit by it. This is basically just like an impact sensor. But something that is cool is you can also make music, and so I also did music for the level. And so, like, each individual note I had to go in I placed all of these notes individually, one at a time. And so there's a bunch of different musics. This one's like a synth string. This one's a concertina instrument. And yeah, all of these I kind of just manually... And yeah, and you just... So like the music that you heard, I made in the game. And there's a few other things, but like, yeah, it basically, that's kind of the idea of how it all works. There's a few extra bits, I think, like, I don't think I showed this. This basically just, like, tracks progress, but, like, visually. It makes sure everything is displayed properly. I don't want to explain that, but, yeah. So that was the first thing. It took 3 months on stream we started with. Will you show gameplay? I did, yeah. Go back, like, 10 minutes in the stream. What song is that? It sounds so familiar. I'm pretty sure it was heavily based on a song by, like, Ifixa, I think is the name. But I, like, changed the tempo and, like, the rhythm of certain things. But yeah, I'm gonna go to this level really quick. But yeah, one of the really cool things about the final boss, and I showed you the final boss where there's that laser that can hit stuff, right? And this is one of the coolest things that I liked about this. It was because it was a really creative solution. So something that's kind of clever is you can't really resize anything in the game. So those arms that extend out of the boss, they actually always exist. It's just they're invisible. And then as they pass through the boss, the segments one at a time become visible as they pass through the boss. And same with the laser. The laser is actually always there, but it's in really small segments. So there's like really small segments, and there's a tip of the laser that is always following the player vertically. And so the way it works is basically the way it works is each segment of the laser always exists, but it's not visible, but they look for the tip. And if the tip is intersecting with that chunk, it appears. And then if a chunk is visible, they actually check the chunks beside them. And if there's a chunk beside that's above, it'll like fill up everything above it as well, so it's able to create a full laser. But the laser's always there in like tiny little segments. But yeah, basically every little tag that you see here, these blue little tags, that's kind of different locations that things can move to in the boss fight, and there's some other stuff. But yeah, just the tip, yep. But like, I don't think I labeled anything in this, so if I were to open it up, it's like, I don't even know how to view what the boss looks like. Oh, there it is. Yeah, like the boss AI, I just threw everything down, and I was like, I'm never gonna need to look at this again. So there's like random different attacks. It's not organized at all. I have no idea how it works, but it works. And the crazy thing about this, like you see all of these wires, right? Literally every single one. I had to grab from here and find the right place to connect it, and then connect it. Okay, and now we'll grab another wire, manually grab it here, find the right place to connect it, and you can see the frame rate, it freezes. So like, literally all of these wires I placed like this. But this is the music I'm probably the most proud of. I always thought it was super cool. So like, each of these notes I had to individually place. And there's little instruments. And the thing is, I had to use really weird instruments, because in Little Big Planet, they have like a million instruments, but like, they don't have a normal piano. They don't have a regular guitar. But they have like a fucking Bion tinkle sound. They have a mosquito. So like, yeah, I used a synth harpsichord and choir ahs to make music like this. And like, there's no bass drum sound effect either, so I had to use a double bass, and it just plays a bunch of double bass notes all over each other, and they're like distorted a little bit. So it goes like, poof, poof, poof. It's so dumb. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. And like, there's the strings. yeah, and I had to do all of this by hand, basically, myself. Every single thing you see, I placed manually, one at a time. But that was the first level I made. I didn't stop there. I didn't stop there. We did other things, because every single level that I did, I was like, I want it to be something that no one's ever seen before in Little Big Planet. So, the next level we did, I wanted a break, because that one took 3 months. So the next one we did, I think in 1 or 2 streams. I was playing some random game on my phone, and I was like, I'm just gonna remake this game on my phone. And so I made, it's like an app called Smooth. I just recreated it. The cool thing about this, is that, in Little Big Planet... Oh, of course, that's Little Big Planet for you. It just fails to load sometimes. In Little Big Planet, quite often, is anyone watch you still active on the channel? Yeah, the reason why I was reminded of it is the person who owned one of the Little Big Planet forum sites, one of the big, like, 3 Little Big Planet forum sites, stopped into stream today, and he was like, yo, Little Big Planet when? Yeah, Jack or Molly. He's been following since, like, 2017. It's crazy. But yeah, so this one, the cool thing about this one is that there's no custom font in Little Big Planet. There is one font, and it is not this. So, what I had to do is, I'll show you. But yeah, it's literally this. Another thing about Little Big Planet is that, the way colors work is objects can either be on or off, and you can designate an on or off color. So the fact that this just changed, and there's no, the fact that that just changed from orange to green, that's normal Little Big Planet stuff, right? You know, it's, one of them was off, one of them was on. The cool thing about this one, though, is that it changes more than on and off. The way it works is actually there's a really, really long piece of material that we painted with a gradient, and it just slides across the screen. And so there's just a really, really, really long sheet that just slides along to make it look like it's turning into multiple colors, but it's just one sheet that's painted with a gradient. Yeah. It was a really funny solution. But, I mean, we had to make it seem like a normal thing. Anyways, get hit. You can restart if you want. And yeah, and I'll show you how it works. But the most awful thing about this was creating this font. Because, like, you saw this. Do you know how I had to make these letters? I took a screenshot of the game. I grabbed a material. And I did this. For every single damn digit and text in this level. There's some faster ways to modify stuff. After we got, like, a good general shape, we were able to fine-tune it with, I think, a corner editor. You can use it to, like, grab corners and slide stuff around. But that's how we made all of the text in this level. Was by frickin' doing stupid garbage like this. Just gradually forming each individual letter one at a time. It took so long. But I wanted to make it seem like the exact game. And it did. It got team picked. They liked the game. It was cool. It was simple, but it worked really well. Oh, and it has the same score system as Flappy Bird. And you guys saw Flappy Bird earlier, right? I want to show you how much I had grown by this point. Because I had figured out that you don't need to compare stuff, like, the Flappy Bird system, it compared stuff in an analog way, where it, like, compared each individual digit with another thing. But this level actually converts each score into, like, a percentage value, and it just compares the value. So everything you saw in the Flappy Bird level is right here, but it's way simpler. Like, I'm pretty sure this is, like, the high score thing, yeah. All of the stuff that you saw in the Flappy Bird level is contained right in this. It is so much simpler now. Like, we figured out a way better way to do it. Because signal strengths are a thing that exist. Like, I'm pretty sure... where is the thing? I think this is a signal strength. Yeah, so... I can't remember. Oh, here's where my best score is stored. So, yeah, my best score is 4, I guess. I haven't saved and quit, so the best score is 4. Or that might be 40, actually, because I'm pretty sure it saves it in decimals. I can't remember how to show more detailed percentages, but yeah. How many people were working on this? Me. I did this. I did all of this myself. And yeah, like the music, I copied it from the app as well. This is what the music in the app looks like. It's pretty simple music. It wasn't that hard to copy. Like it's just, you know, you just hear it, listen to the notes. Boom, 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 boom. And then I'm pretty sure it goes dun, 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 dun. And it kind of just loops. There's like a few things where it goes. Yeah. So it's just a simple little game. And yeah, right here. Like, I had to make these one at a time. I ended up having to take little pictures of them because they had too many, vertices on the shapes, and they were taking up too much of the level because the shapes were too complicated. So I had to take pictures after I was done making one at a time of them. It was so funny. Simple. Oh, yeah. So... Then there's one thing where you saw, you know, Little Big Planet. It's a 2D game, right? Little Big Planet's a 2D game. This level looks a little bit different compared to the other ones. This one, I decided I wanted to make a 3D third-person shooter where you play as an ant. That's insane. Wait, what? Yeah! So in this one, we ended up, making a 3D third-person shooter. And yeah, I'm gonna get hit here deliberately. And as you can see, the color changes multiple times. That's not possible. How is he changing color multiple times? Someone sent me, they found that the developers left in unused tools that they didn't include in the game because they were too complicated for, like, a casual player to get. But they were still in the game if you just, like, force yourself to get them. And they gave them to me as a community item. And so, there's, like an RGB color modifier tool that we ended up using to change the color of this into multiple colors. And so we basically just, like, calculated RGB colors on the computer. And, figured out, like, the percentages for each color. And threw him into Little Big Planet. Who is we? Me and the 3 people that were watching. We were a small little team. They fed me ideas and they told me when stuff looked bad. A funny thing is, there is no good water texture in the game. And so the way this water works is it's a few layers of glass. This is actually a few layers of glass layered on top of each other, and the glass gradually gets a little bit darker, but it looks like glass. So the top layer, we managed to find a very insane plasma effect. We slowed down the animation speed of the plasma effect, rotated it a bunch, layered it over top of itself, and it looks like water. So it's actually a plasma effect layered over itself a bunch. Also, the thing about Little Big Planet is, I did say it was layered, so you can kind of tell on the ground, it's all completely flat, right? The ground that I walk on is all completely flat. But you can see, like, there's no slopes that go in between layers. And that's because the game exists in layers. Every material that you place exists as a layer. The thing is, you see this tree here. You know, that has slopes. These mushrooms, they don't exist in one single layer. You know, there's things that are on slopes. There's things that are like that. The way that this level is made is, those aren't actually objects. Those aren't physically there. I had to make invisible walls so you can't walk into it. Because those are a thing called decorations where you can, like, attach them to things and they don't physically exist, but they visually exist there. And so, everything that I can't walk into, like I'm trying to walk into this right now, we made an invisible wall, essentially. The crazy thing about this is, this is a 2D game, right? How do you make it 3D? We use a glitch. A glitch, and think about it, how does he make a 2D game 3D? You're about to see. I'll give you a hint. It has to do with the camera. It takes the camera and it jams it sideways. So the way I had to build this level was not like a normal level. Because the camera was jammed sideways, you know what I had to do? I had to build the level sideways. So the entire level is built on a wall. The whole thing. And the crazy thing about this is, we realized that there's no tree materials. There's no tree decorations. So you guys actually know what these trees are? These trees are another glitch that we had to use. These trees are made up of a single twig decoration that we used a glitch to resize to way bigger than they're ever allowed to be. So if I interact with this at all, it'll fix the glitch and it'll correct it to the correct size. So this is what every piece of wood in the entire level is made out of. A stick that is glitched to be bigger and angled in a way that it's not supposed to be. There's like random stuff like that everywhere in this level. So yeah, you can see like this is the middle of the stick. If you go down here, you can kind of see right here, this is like little joint. This is actually the stick sideways. And I hid the joint with the big trunk. And like garbage like this. Now, the thing is, okay, about this isn't actually real 3D, right? It's kind of like the original Doom, where it seems like 3D, but you're still really only moving in 2 dimensions. You know, you're only moving on 2 axes. You can't move up or down. And the problem is, like, it's just a trick of the eye, really. It's a top-down game, but the camera's forced sideways. The thing is, you can't make a true 3D with this camera glitch. Because the way this camera glitch works is you can't actually change the layer that the camera is in, so you can't move the camera up or down. It completely, like, spins the camera like crazy, and it doesn't work. But after a lot of thinking, and I'm fairly sure I was the only person to figure this out, I figured out how to make true 3D. Now, unfortunately, I was in the middle of modifying the level, so the level doesn't actually work, but I think I still have, in the capture gallery, videos of it working. Yeah, here's an initial test. Here's an initial test. I accidentally screwed with the lighting, so the lighting is a bit problematic, but, this is like a combined effort between me and another person, but you can see there's slopes. I'm walking up the slopes, and you can see, you know, I'm walking up the slopes. I'm jumping. I can run up it. I think I added wall climbing. Yeah, you can climb walls. So yeah, I turned the 2D Little Big Planet into a full 3D game. Yeah. Kind of cracked. And this is I think I had a run through of the early level. Yeah, this is a really early version of the level. Where like you can run and you can jump and climb. I think I do a fly through of the level as well with the music running. Yeah, but a lot of it isn't visually here yet, because we worked on the gameplay part and then just made it look pretty after. So it doesn't look great. But let's see. I think I might have done a fly-through with the music and everything running. Yeah, here we go. And yeah, you can see the camera's forced sideways again. And this is just a fly-through of the level visually. Once it was a little bit more polished. Another thing that's really cool about this level is, we figured out how to sync in-game events to the music. I hadn't seen that before at all, but you can see the hammers, later on, they fall to the beat of the music, which is really cool. I hadn't seen that before in a Little Big Planet level. It turns out that, like, the music system can interact with the logic system in a way I didn't really realize before. So, you can see the hammers to the music. And this is only half of the level, actually, now I'm looking at it. And it is Kirby music, factory investigation, yeah. So, the thing is, in Little Big Planet, let's go back to the game, and I'll show you how we did it. The thing is, like I said, you can't move up and down because the camera would glitch out, and it just wouldn't work. And so, you know, you can rotate the camera and everything, and it works great. But you can't go up and down, so you couldn't make true 3D. But we figured out a way to make it 3D. I thought, instead of moving the camera up and down, why don't you move the entire level up and down? So whenever you jump, it's not you jumping, it's the floor going down. The whole level moves down when you jump. But that came with some very big problems, because there are ways to move stuff in and out. But the problem is, and this was a huge problem that took us a long time to figure out, I'm just gonna place a mover down, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like in the settings of the mover. If I open up these settings, maximum speed, you can choose a specific layer for it to snap to. And they always have to snap to layers. And the thing is, there's slopes in this level. You can't snap to a layer. You can't do that. You can't snap to a layer, because then if you stop in the middle of a slope, what's going to happen? The floor is going to go through your feet, or you're going to be levitating. So, we had to figure out a way to stop in between layers. And we did that using the most stupid mechanic that no one liked. There is an object that is outclassed by everything else. There is no reason to use this object. It's a thing called a bendy rail. A bendy rail. And a bendy rail, basically, you place a bendy rail, you place one end of it, and you place another end of it, and then a shopping cart wheel can be attached to it, and the shopping cart wheel will run along it. But, you know, if we look, this can actually go in and out of layers. And the great thing about these rail hooks is that you can change the input action to be positional on the rail. So, and there's some other problems with some stuff, so I think we had to solve like a calculus problem to do it. I didn't solve the problem. So, this entire level, the entire thing, the whole level, is attached to a single tiny shopping cart wheel right here. And here is the rail that it runs along. The entire thing, the whole level, is attached to a single stupid bendy rail shopping cart. And yeah, I'm pretty sure we had to solve like a problem because the positional stuff doesn't actually work properly. So I'm pretty sure there's like some random BS calculus stuff in here. I can't remember how it works. Is it the wheel that never runs straight as well? Yeah, the wheel, like, it has a bit of glitchiness because we're not using it as intended, but it totally works. The thing is, if the wheel is so weak that if you attach any large amounts of material to it, it stops moving. So, what we had to do was we essentially made the entire level, for lack of a better word, a hologram with 0 weight, and it cannot physically interact with anything else. So the level actually only visually exists, and this hologram is on your screen, and it moves up and down. And so I had to add individual tiny little holograms that also existed, but the player could interact with. And so, like, this shape here, it is the exact same shape as the layer below it. And it has, like, a signal that shows, okay, this elevation is 48%. That's what this elevation is. It wirelessly transmits that signal, and so the game knows, okay, it's wirelessly transmitting 48%. That communicates with this stupid little shopping cart wheel to go to 40% up the rail. And the reason why the level doesn't work right now is because of an issue that I might be able to show you guys. But yeah, so everything in this level only visually exists. It doesn't actually physically exist. But if I jump into the player, I think it may work. We'll see. Yeah, the player doesn't actually work. But as you can see, there is a very serious frame rate issue. And that is because since you're jamming the camera sideways, the entire level is actually on your screen. Like, the perspective on the top of the screen, it loads everything in the entire level at once. Even if it's not on screen. And so, what I was doing in the middle of doing, and I ended up taking a break because it was exhausting, was I ended up starting to design a system that would only render the stuff on screen that's supposed to be visible. So I ended up making, like, this big trapezoid shape that basically it's like a trapezoid shape, but when you tilt the camera sideways, it shows exactly what's on your screen. And basically, whatever the trapezoid made contact with was turned visible, and so it fixed the frame rate issues. The thing is, I had to disconnect everything and chop it up into smaller chunks. And so everything is kind of chopped up into small chunks right now, and I didn't finish reconnecting it yet. And so it actually doesn't function because I didn't finish that. But yeah, this is a full 3D in Little Big Planet. That's not the only thing that I did. Before this, we actually worked on something else. I was playing a lot of Flash games at the time. I was playing a lot of Flash games at the time, and I was like, I want to make a Flash-style puzzle game. It's really cool, because I had an idea. And like I said, loading screens don't exist in Little Big Planet for loading in between levels. But I had an idea, and so I'll kind of show you this level. And probably my favorite music that I had ever made in Little Big Planet is in this level. I was listening to a lot of lo-fi, and I was like, you know what? I bet I could make a really simple lo-fi song in Little Big Planet that's just chill and nice. And so I made a lo-fi song for this level. This nice little puzzle level. So the level's called Twins. Let's see. This is the music that I made. And basically the way it works is there's 25 individual levels. Every 5 levels it introduces a new mechanic. You know, there's a bunch of stuff, and yeah. Something that's interesting, I said before, you cannot resize objects in this game, right? I said that before. And this is the way it works, you know. Basically, both players are tied to one controller. But, you also make music? Yeah, I made the music. The thing is, there is actually an object that can resize in Little Big Planet, but only decorations can be attached to it. The thing that we saw in the ant level. So I found a bunch of basic shapes, and we managed to make it so anything that resizes in this level is made out of like a basic shape, and there's a few extra things that are a little bit more complicated than that. Like, there's a lot of visual tricks that go into play to make things resize, but the fact that this is like growing and shrinking was actually like a really big deal, and it was really cool. But yeah, you get both of the things into it. You know, it gives you a score based on how fast you were. Then you go to the next level. And the thing is, the level is different. There's no loading screens in Little Big Planet. How is the level different? The thing is, what happens is when this green fills up the screen, it's just covering your vision. And then this whole menu just flies to the next level. So I hit next level, and it takes a second. In that time where it was just green, the camera was just zooming as quickly as possible to the next, like, area that has the level existing, and then it shrinks back down to reveal it. But yeah, the whole part about this game is, like, you have to desync these two characters and, like, solve puzzles with them. Yeah. And so there's, like, a bunch of different levels. I'll get to when the spikes are introduced. And the timer's using the same timer as Flappy Bird? No, it's different. We kept getting better and making things a lot simpler, but yeah. And this one introduces, like, spikes and stuff. Yeah, it's just a cool little level, you know? It's, this one is cool. This one has, like, spikes that appear on the walls, and so you have to just, like, be super patient and make sure you don't walk into the spikes when they switch. Did you make Flappy Bird? Yes. Yeah, I did. In Little Big Planet, not like the actual game. But yeah, that's the thing, and I think, yeah, this one tries to introduce, like, right here. You kind of just line them up, but in a slightly different way to jump over. Line them up at the end. There you go. It's cool. Where'd you get the idea for this level? I just had it when I was going to sleep one night. And yeah, and then this level is, you know, it has some weird parts to it. A lot of it is really weird. The funniest thing about this level is the materials you usually build with in Little Big Planet. The funny thing about Little Big Planet is I usually build with a material called sticker panel. And it was just a material that's like a flat color, no matter the lighting, right? J-Dub, thanks for the prime. No matter the lighting, it shows, no matter the lighting, it shows. But the thing is, because I had to make a lot of the materials out of decorations, the decorations actually cast shadows on the level. And for the longest time, I changed, like, the lighting of the level, the darkness, the fogginess of the level. We could not figure it out. We had no idea how to solve this problem because it was casting shadows and it was breaking immersion. You could tell that it wasn't a 2D thing because there is actually, like, physical layers. But yeah, there's, like, a bunch of different levels we made. And yeah, the camera kind of just covers it. And what ended up happening is I think it might have been Misa. I think it might have been Misa, where Misa hadn't played a lot of Little Big Planet, I think. Misa was watching. I'm pretty sure. Did you come up with the way to fix the lighting idea? Was that you? I think it might have been. What ended up happening was I couldn't figure out how to fix the lighting issues. And Misa was like, well, why don't you just add a light to get rid of the shadows? And I was getting into so technical Little Big Planet that I forgot that there's objects that are literally just lights that exist. And so we just made a really, really big actual light. I'm pretty sure, I can't remember where it is, but it is somewhere in this level. There is a massive light that just acts as the sun. I can't remember where it is, but it's somewhere hidden. And there's just a physical lamp that lights up all of the darkness. Oh, here it is. Yeah, here it is. This is one of them. There's like a bunch. It's just like a small LED light that's at like 200% brightness that has a range of 5,000, which covers the entire level. And I'm pretty sure there's one in every corner to get rid of any shadows. Like, we just completely forgot that lights existed. And it was casting shadows and causing problems. Yeah, there's a few others. I'm not sure where they're hidden. Some of them are hidden a little bit more because they need to be in certain places to get rid of shadows. But if I go around, there'll be more. But it's simple and effective. It was so funny. Yeah, here's another one. Here's another little light. Like, it's such a simple solution, but it worked so well. Like, here, if I destroy the lights, I'll actually delete the lights and you guys can see how it looks. Let's see if I can find all of them. There might only be 2. But yeah, it basically acts like the sun. There's one there. There's one here. Oh, there we go. Now you can see shadows. Yeah. So now if I go to anything that has anything physically here. Right here, you can start to see... Yeah, you can start to see some shadows on some of them. Like if we go... Seems like there's still one light somewhere. But... Yeah, you can see my player's shadow over top of it now. There's one left above the left one. Oh, was there another one? Is there one up here or something? Let me just double check. Anyways. Yeah, but that's a lot of the stuff I made in Little Big Planet. I'll show you one other thing before I call it a day, because I am starting to get really tired. One other thing is in high school, I was like, I just want to make music in Little Big Planet. I wonder how hard it is. The game is using massive amounts of processing power to render shadows. Only to use more processing power to eliminate those shadows? Yes. Pretty much. We did one more thing that I'll show you. There's a few other unfinished levels. Like, I tried to make a Stardew Valley kind of thing. I can't remember what the super duper secret project is. The turret defender. Yeah. I didn't make the name on that level. This is me backing up Magma Factory like 8 times just in case it stops working. I'll show you one more thing. And it's basically the level where I made a bunch of music stuff. Should you follow? If you want. But yeah, so when I was in high school, I was like, I really want to practice making music. What is the easiest way to practice? And I was like, I just need to do something, but I'm not creative enough to come up with stuff on my own. So, I think you guys know what's coming. So I just listened to songs and recreated them note by note. And like, no, every single one was freaking placed manually. And so yeah, there's like, and it just... Here, I'll play this one. How much time did you have? Good amount. This one isn't as good. I couldn't get the instrument quite right. Yo, you guys like DuckTales? You ever heard of DuckTales the Moon? You want a new video game favorite song? Best N64 song. It's so good, right? Did you do Mega Man? I may have. I may have done a little bit of Mega Man. I'd never played Mega Man, but I was like, the music sounds good. Right? And yeah, it's literally just like I'm gonna play some notes so you guys can see what it was like. That's not right. No. No, that's not right. Like, every single one of these I had to place by hand. One at a friggin' time, dude. It is so slow. But yeah, like, one of my favorite ones is the N64 Banjo-Kazooie, but I'll get to that in a second. I also had, like, I like Kraid's Lair. Kraid's Lair is so simple, but so good. This is the best part. What's the program for this? This is a game called Little Big Planet 3. You have Gourmet Race. No, I don't. I'm pretty sure the Kirby music was just okay, maybe? Yeah, it doesn't sound quite right. Well, it's about right, actually. Because like I said, the instruments in this game are really limited. One of my favorite... Little Nemo the Dream Master had such good music. It was so good. It's like the... No, that one is not good. No, that's the worst song. Why did I pick that one first? That's level 2. I have nostalgia for this. I think it was level 1 that had the best. Level 1, yeah. Yeah. And yeah, the mosquito was in that one, exactly. That was the mosquito sound. I had to get the NES sound somehow. Sometimes you have to finagle your way through it. My favorite one. My friend made this one. I'm not gonna show you it. This was probably my favorite one that I had made. It's Gruntilda's Lair, and it goes through all of the areas. It's really difficult because there are really limited instruments in the game, but I think I did a pretty good job. It's a good week. Just wait. This is done by hand, one note at a time. Yep. I'm gonna listen to the whole thing because the further you get in, the better it gets. How much time? I think all of these songs was like a 2-week stint. I kind of just come home from school and work on them. This is where it gets good, I think. I like this part. This is all done by ear, yes. I had to listen to these songs over and over again. You have perfect pitch? No, we determined that I don't on a previous stream. There is a lot of copy pasting, like, there are similar sections. And then it loops. I think Gobi Valley is also pretty good. I like Gobi's Valley. This was a fun one. So I think the instruments I kind of nailed. This is a, like a desert pyramid style level in Banjo-Kazooie. Impressive work. Thank you. Thanks for the hype train, you guys, by the way. I saw a bunch of gift subs in there. Thank you. I didn't want to talk about the music. And I think it has some... I guess there's more here. What's this? Oh, yeah. But yeah, to get like certain instrument sounds, like that's choir ahas laid over strings legato. And the drums is a woodpecker sound effect. And then there's this in the background though. A bassoon. Anyways, yeah, so that's probably my favorite ones. Yeah, there's a few. I'm pretty sure my friend tried to make scary monsters and nice sprites somewhere in here. I'm pretty sure there's like scary monsters and nice sprites. My friend was like, I'm gonna make scary monsters, and it might be this. I'm pretty sure it's this. I think he tried to make scary monsters and nice sprites. He only did it for like 10 minutes, and he was like, this sounds bad. I quit. Yeah. What's this? I have no idea. Yeah, it's not terrible. A lot of these are empty though. But yeah. So that's how I started streaming. That's how I started streaming. I'm pretty sure he did a lot of Legend of Zelda ones. I didn't do all of these. He did some of them. He wanted to. I like this. But that's how I started streaming. I made all that stuff on stream. Not the music. I did the music off stream in high school. Lost Woods, it's not great. And I also didn't make it. I didn't make it. The instruments aren't quite right. But there's some lore. Hopefully I added some substance to the end of the stream. Can you showcase any games you made in this yet? Yeah, you can go back about an hour in the stream. I'm gonna call it a day. Tomorrow I might start early, depending on how I'm feeling, because Kirby comes out tomorrow. And so I'm playing Kirby all day. The new Kirby game. 3D Kirby. Be there if you want to see it. I will be back tomorrow. I'm so excited for Kirby. I'm gonna get a good sleep today. We're gonna find someone to raid. Who are we raiding? Cutie? Yeah, you know what? Let's raid Cutie Cinderella. I haven't rated Cutie since the Streamer Awards happened. We're gonna raid Cutie Cinderella. Cutie put on the Streamer Awards, the whole show. That was all Cutie Cinderella, I believe. So yeah, give her a really good stream. All right. But I'll be back tomorrow. I'm excited. Thanks so much for that. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Sucked that the event didn't work well, but it feels cool showing off this stuff. It's nice looking back. The Pixel Wizard thing is probably the first thing I ever did that I was like really proud of. Like it was a big project that I kind of followed through on. cool I got to show that off. But yeah, have a good one, everybody. Bye.